So, as I mentioned, I am Coach Jay with the FGC Simplified Community, and we have thousands of entrepreneurs that we have taught how to get started and how to get into this federal government contracting space. We have taken people from knowing nothing about federal government contracting to understand a simplified process, what it is to understand what it is the federal government is wanting. How am I going to able to provide that products, goods, and services to them, and how to actually break into this federal government contracting space without having to have all type of capital, specialized equipment, and all of that on the good stuff, okay? So I'm just waiting for a couple more people to jump on in so we can start this live. Y'all seen the title of the live? We're talking about DOGE. I have gotten so many inboxes, emails, questions about DOGE. How is that going to affect federal government contracting like we do it? How is that going to have an impact on us moving forward? So I decided to do a live. So I can come on and answer your question in real time. I'd be able to share some light with you on how this is going to actually affect us moving forward as being federal government contractors and federal government contractors in this space. All right. So if this is your first time jumping on in, my YouTube family and everybody, make sure and drop me a comment down in the chat. Let me shout y'all out. Let me know that y'all are in the building. Y'all could see and hear me all right. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Make sure that you like, thumbs up, share, do all the good stuff so we can get this ball rolling. We can get this information out for my family out on Instagram and on YouTube. Tap on into as well. This is a somewhat controversial topic right now that's going on outside in this space. So let me be transparent right off the bat. I have family members that work for the federal government. I have family members that have received the emails saying that, listen, you have to put in your resignation or you can take the buyout. So I'm very sensitive in the words that I use when it comes to what we're actually experiencing right now. All right. So we're going to talk about it tonight. We got KJ Frederick from New Jersey. Welcome in, man. We got Bella Cruz in the building. First time here. Welcome in. So again, for those that are now tapping on in, if this is your first time coming across my content, first time coming across my channel, first time catching me on live, we try to go live as often as we can. And what we do, we show people the simple path on how to get started in this federal government contracting space. We show you a simplified process that we've created called the flow that anyone, even if you have experience in business, even if you're new to entrepreneurship, you can start getting into this federal government contracting space. You would know a simplified process on how it is to find federal government contracts, how to understand what it is the federal government is requiring, and then how do you actually submit and win federal government contracts. And we do it utilizing the middleman strategy. All right. So if you're here, I'll be able to answer some questions for you. Good evening. We got another one. We got Wild Oliver in the building. First time here. Let's shout y'all out, man. Let's shout y'all out. Good evening. Welcome in from New Jersey. And we got Bella in the building from Maryland. And we got KG from New Jersey. New Jersey, thick in the building, man. I like it. All right. So I have gotten so many emails, so many messages, so many DMs of people that are rightly concerned about what is going on in the political climate as it pertains to DOGE. Now, when I say DOGE, I'm not talking about the Dogecoin. A lot of people get it confused. We just had a meeting on Monday inside of our community that we talked about the DOGE, and they thought that it was the cryptocurrency. So we're not talking about the cryptocurrency, but what we're talking about is the department that was newly formed to do auditing on the federal government. So it was established by Donald Trump. He put Elon Musk and Rico's, I think is Roswavio is his name, into place to actually do an audit on federal government spending. And everybody has been in an uproar as it pertains to what they're discovering and all of that information when it comes to seeing what the federal government is actually spending in this space. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. All right. That's what we're going to talk about. So is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Is it going to affect us in this federal government contracting space that we have done? So let me tell you right off the bat. Yes, it's going to have an effect on us, but it's going to have an effect on us depending on what type of contracts you go after. If you are not familiar with what we do in this federal government contracting space and why I love and prefer the middleman strategy, which we do, is that regardless of what the federal government is requesting, if the federal government is requesting training, if the federal government is requesting maintenance, lawn care, whatever it is that the federal government wants, we are able to supply that to them because we are implementing and utilizing the middleman strategy. Meaning that my company, my business is not the one that's physically out there performing the work. But what I do, I partner with and I go alongside local businesses and local subcontractors that has the manpower, has the skill, has the expertise of what the federal government is looking for, and we partner with them. They perform the physical portion of the contract, meaning they're the ones that's out there doing the physical work, and my company manages it. My company makes sure that the federal government fulfills and get what they want. All right, so the ones that are taking effect. So this is a great website I want to share with you. If you want to, pin it to your tab so you can actually see what's going on. It's a good website called the Department of Government Efficiency. And again, that's what was established. The Department of Government Efficiency Live Tracker. Now, on this tracker, you can be able to see what they are uncovering. If you are a taxpayer, right now in the United States and you're paying taxes, you should be concerned or you should be aware of where your money is actually being spent. After all, it is your taxpayer dollars that is going to fund these federal government contracts. So you should be at least involved to know where the federal government. Now, I've gotten so many pushbacks. And again, this is my opinion. This is my viewpoint as being a federal government contractor. I want everyone that's listening to me, FGC family and everybody that's in here, I want you all to take the time and not listen to highlights and clips. But whenever there is an announcement that is made, especially when it comes to what the Department of Government Efficiency is doing, take the time to look into it to see if there is any validity in it. Listen, I know that there are so many people do not like the current president, but don't let your dislike for the current president blind you from the fact that there is wasteful spending that's happening inside of the federal government. Now, we understand that this has been going on for years. I have been a federal government contractor for years. I have supplied the federal government with products, services that I myself has said, wow, they're spending this much for this. We already know that that's what's going on. But don't let your dislike or hatred, if that's the word you want to use, for the person that's in the White House blind you from the fact that your taxpayer dollars is going out of the back door. It's just going out of the back door. So whenever you hear something that's what's going on inside of what the federal government is spending it, I ask you to do your own due diligence, do your own research on it. And one of the sites, as we mentioned, is the Department of Government Efficiency Live Tracker. Now, this is a website that has been put together to track some of the contracts that are being canceled when it pertains to what the DOGE is actually being uncovered. And I'm telling you, me, myself, as a government contractor who have supplied products and services to the federal government, I was shocked by the type and the amount of contracts that is being spent by our taxpayer dollars. And I keep saying our because I pay taxes too. All right. So if you look at this tracker, you can see it's only, let me see, if they have 505 days until July 4th, 2026. So I think they're in place for a year. They have already saved $45.47 billion in our taxpayer money that has been already saved since they have been uncovering and canceling contracts that are they deem to be wasteful spending. All right? Wasteful spending. So, as you all know, that the highlight, if you see the list right here of all the contracts and stuff that have been canceled, the focal point and the highlight has been on the DEI. So, to answer the first question right off the bat, how is this going to affect us as federal government contractors, the ones who are out here supplying goods and services to the federal government? Because we don't specialize and niche down in one particular industry or one particular area, if I am not only focusing on training and development, DEI initiative trainings and DEI initiative contracts, then the effect to me is going to be on the positive side, because that money that they're saving is going to go towards things that would benefit us who supply products, services, and goods that the federal government can use here in the United States. Think about infrastructure. Think about rebuilding federal facilities that's in the United States. All of these things that the federal government spending that could spend money in the United States, we can now provide that to them too as well. Good, yeah, first time here. I see you. Welcome in, man. Welcome in. First time here. Let me know that you're in the building. All right. So let's take a look. And again, I'm just going to highlight some of the things that they're doing contracts on, and then we'll talk a little bit about how we do what we do and why this does not affect us. Okay. All right. So they're saying there that like 45. If you scroll, there are so many contracts that have been closed. The ones that point out to me that the federal government, they already canceled. The federal government had a New York Times subscription, and they were paying $1.6 million a year for New York Times subscription. Associated Press subscription cancellation was $20 million. $20 million they were spending on Associated Press subscription. I'm telling y'all, when I saw this, so think about it, 20-something million worth of government contracts, federal government contracts, is now going to be used towards other related federal government needs. There are so many. And again, I will drop it too in the chat. You can go up here. Again, it's called the Department of Government Efficiency Live Tracker. You can go on there and you can start to see what they are cutting back. So if you are in this federal government contracting space and you don't have a niche in training and development or a niche in DEI, then you are going to be affected on the positive light, because now the federal government is going to start spending money on goods and products and services like infrastructure, maintenance, services, and all of that, okay? So if this is your first time here, listen, welcome in. We teach you how to do federal government contracting by simply utilizing what we call the middleman strategy. Now, anyone that's listening to me, if you're here for the first time, you can actually see what the need of the federal government is and what this new money that they're canceling contracts is now going to be spent on. Anyone can follow along. You can jump on over to SAM.gov. SAM.gov is actually our workhorse on what it is we use to find what the need of the federal government is. If you don't know what federal government contracting is, we simply find the need of the federal government and we put that together and we find a local business and a local subcontractor that has what the federal government actually needs. And we team with them, we partner with them to fulfill these contracts that the federal government wants. There are only 3 simple requirements if you want to get started in this space. 1, you need to have a business established in order for you to do business with the federal government. Yes, you can start this with a sole prop, but there are so many other benefits starting by just simply starting a simple LLC, okay? The federal government only does business with other businesses. They don't do business with individuals. So step 1, or the first foundational step, is to get a business established if you don't already have one. If you already have a business, regardless of what industry it's in, regardless of how old it is, you can use it in order to do federal government contracting and win federal government contracts. Okay? Step 2, once you have that business established, you are simply just going to get an EIN for that business, an employee identification number. And then the third and final step, you are going to come over here to this website that you see on the screen called SAM.gov. SAM.gov, as you can see, is the official website of the US government, and it's 100% free. There are some subsidiary websites out here, but SAM.gov is the official one of the United States government, of the federal government, and again, it's 100% free. Once you have your business and you have that EIN number, you are going to come and register the business here in order for the federal government to be able to award you federal government contracts. Okay? This is also the workhorse or the site that we will come to find the need of the federal government. So a simple way that I like to show people, because remember, we are not relegated just to one particular industry. Whatever the need of the federal government is, we are able to supply it. So if you want to generate the entire list to see what the federal government is actually looking for and needing, I'm going to show you right now a simple way to see that. You go to search right here on the top menu. Once you click on search, it will bring you over to the search menu of SAM.gov. This is what the search menu looked like. Now, whoever created SAM.gov, whoever was the UX designer of SAM.gov, you have to make a selection over here on the left side in order to generate the list. So one of the simplest ways in order to generate the list to see what the federal government is requesting without you trying to niche down and miss different opportunities is to simply click on contract opportunities, because that's what we're looking for. We're looking for opportunities for us to win a federal government contract. And now that we've clicked on contract opportunities, the easiest way to generate the list is just to click on this button right here that says inactive. Once you click on that button, you are going to generate the list of all what the federal government is looking for right now. Now, because we clicked inactive, this is the entire list. So yes, there are inactive mixed into this list, but the majority of them are active, meaning that the federal government is actively seeking products, services that we can provide to the federal government right now as we speak. Okay? So that's the simplest way that anyone that's listening to me right now, if you're watching this live, even if you're watching the replay, you can actually go back and do this. You don't have to have an account with SAM.gov. You don't have to log in or do anything. You can just bring up SAM.gov, follow along what I showed you, and you can see the list of all it is that the federal government is wanting and what they're actually seeking. All right. Now, if you really want to take federal government contracting seriously and get into this space, I highly recommend that you get with someone who has already done this before. All right. So shameless plug. So at the FGC Simplified community, we have a community of entrepreneurs. We have trained over 3,000 brand new entrepreneurs who didn't know anything about business, about federal government contracting. We have trained them on how to actually get into this space, how simple our process is to find what the federal government wants, understand what it is they're looking for, and then be able to submit and win proposals. So we have our February workshop coming up. As you can see on the screen, you have a February workshop coming up. It's going to be February 26th through the 28th. It's a 3-day live virtual workshop where we are going to walk through our process called the flow. The flow is our system on how we actually execute and win federal government contracts. So the link will be down in the description for you to register for our workshop. It will be, if you click the link in my bio, you can see the link where you can register. I highly recommend that you get your seats early. We are just coming off of our January workshop, and it was mind-blowing, y'all. It was totally mind-blowing. So, again, it's coming up. It's going to be from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're on Eastern Standard Time, Eastern side of the America. So that's the time frame we rolled on. Register, get your seats, so you should be able to get in and learn our system on how simple the process is on how to land, win these federal government contracts. So, as we were mentioning earlier, how does this DOGE affect us? They're uncovering waste, fraud, and abuse. So as you can see, if you generate the list, you can see the type of opportunities that we can actually fulfill for the federal government. They're looking for invasive species control. That's talking about weedicide and pest control. That stuff still needs to continue because that has nothing to do with DEI and all of that. We can be able to provide that information, that service to the federal government by simply finding a local business that has this capability, that's able to fulfill what it is the federal government is wanting, and then we can bring the two together. And as the middleman, it's a win-win-win all the way around. The federal government gets what they want. They get their weedicide. They get their services completed at their facility. The local small business, you are injecting revenue into that economy. So they are getting what they want. And we are generating an income and revenue by bringing the two together. So it's a win-win-win all the way around. As y'all can see, the federal government is also looking for marriage retreat. They want marriage retreats. I'm just trying to highlight for you right now the things that the federal government, that you can provide to them. Not only diversity, equity, inclusion training, not only management training, but you can provide products, goods, service, whatever the federal government needs, you are able to provide that to them. So listen, this is one of the best times to get into federal government contracting because it's at the height of the beginning of the year. There are so many products and services that the federal government is looking for and needs right now. So again, I just wanted to jump on real quick just to let you all know that this does not affect us. The DOGE and the wage fraud and abuse that the federal government is uncovering, it's a good thing because we are getting to see what our taxpayer dollars is being spent on as a tax-paying United States citizen, but also as a federal government contractor. I know that there will be more funds available to go towards the contracts that we can actually fulfill. All right. So Make sure and you tap in with us. Make sure that you make sure you follow us here. Like, share, subscribe, do all of the YouTube stuff that y'all do so we can be able to share with you. And whenever we tap in live again, we do live Q&A, we do live solicitation reviews. Make sure that you register for the workshop that's coming up the 26th through the 28th. You can register early so you can secure your seat, so you can learn and understand a simplified process and a simplified system in how to find federal government contracts, how to understand what it is the federal government is actually requesting, and how we go about fulfilling those federal government contracts so we can generate revenue for ourselves, so we can be profitable in 2025. All right? Well, listen, it's your boy Coach Jay with the FGC Simplified, and we are going to be out, and I'll see y'all on the next one. We're out.